So I wanted to comment on the Matt Walsh, What is a Woman documentary. I know I'm late on it. Many people have commented on it. But what I find interesting is that the left, obviously, they always have some kind of an organized structure or plan going through, or backup plan for really what they want to accomplish. They're very, very organized, very well funded, obviously. And so what I noticed is that the game plan for it within the documentary is education, isolation, access to phones, and media, unending, unlimited media. And that was really the game plan for accessing the youth when it comes to the downfall of America. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at countries, you can see where their country is based on where the youth is mentally. And so now we're seeing all the perversion, all of this stuff. People think it's a progressive, movement where we're just evolving as human beings, and that, all of this stuff should be celebrated. But really what we're seeing is a demonic perversion within our youth, and really an overtake of socialism, which at the heart of socialism is to remove God from society or from the government. And so, that began with education. And so the education system obviously has been compromised for many years, where they removed God and they slowly put in the ideology of socialism. Then the isolation came into play 2 years ago, which everyone knows that isolation is very destructive. We're not made to be independent. We're made to be interdependent. And so when you have in the wilderness or jungle, whatever, when you have, a pack of animals, the reason why animals travels in pack is because the moment one gets left behind, one gets injured or whatever, they will get overtaken by their enemy, or, whatever animal is in the food chain that hunts them. And so that's what hunting, when they're hunting for animals, that's what they look for. They look for the weakest link who is removing themselves from the pack. And so that's what tends to happen in society when you're isolating teenagers or kids, specifically, people that are going through, kids that are going through puberty. It is super, super easy to manipulate the information that they are obtaining. And so, if they're isolated, they're scared, they're confused already about growing up, imagine what happens when they don't have that camaraderie physically. They find it online. They find it on their phones. And so having a phone, accessing a phone with specific media information, specific information that's going to kind of overflow, make them feel like that they're a part of something, because they're so isolated that they're just starving for some kind of sense of community. And when you have that sense of community affirm your confusion, or affirm maybe something the devil has implanted in them, that really does snowball when it's not addressed. And so, it's a game plan. You have your education, your isolation, you have your phones, and then you have your media, which all works. It has all worked together. And so when you look at America right now, where we are, you can tell that with the youth, America, it's almost as if we won't last much longer, because we no longer have the strong foundation that we had before. We have confusion, and we have these ideologies that are being pushed without even knowing the original intent of them. And so it's an interesting documentary, and it's my hat's off to Matt Walsh for having stone face the entire time, because I would either be cracking up or fuming mad. But those are the people that we have to thank for, standing out and standing up and doing things like that, that really do question, what is really going on.